if stage 3 was the stretch and fold, stage 4 was the bulk ferment, which was just leaving it overnight. You can see it's at least doubled, maybe tripled or even quadrupled in size. Probably closer to tripled. We want to get out of here. It's going to stick a little bit to the sides. So I usually just wet my fingers like that. And if you go right down under the edge and then do one lift, let it go down, dig under, do a second lift, you'll see it release from the bowl. Same on this side. And like push it down on the edges. Okay. And now that should mostly come out on its own. We're going to sprinkle a bit of flour on the bench. You don't need too much. Put that out with the smooth side on the bottom and stretch it out into a kind of rectangle. Go a little bit more. Fold one side in, other side in. Lots of different ways you can do this really, but it's really just about rolling it into a sort of final shape you want. In this case I'm using a oval banneton. And then I'm going to tuck these edges in. And if you just keep working the edge like that, it'll close up. You just keep squeezing and it'll get to a point where it seals. And we'll do the same with this side. We'll kind of push that inward and pinch it together. There you go. You can still see it's still got quite a bit of air in it. We did compress some of the air out. Just give it a light dusting with flour. And that's the bit where we pinched it there, so remember where that is. With the banneton I like to use the rice flour because it'll absorb the water and stop sticking, but it'll just fall off in the cooking process so you don't end up with too much flour on your final bread. And then you want that bit where you pinched, the seam at the top. Now this'll go and do the final, what's it called? Proof, the final proof. So just put a little bit of rice flour on top. And so it will grow again over the next hour to 2 hours. We'll leave it and it'll kind of grow a little bit. We'll cover this with a tea towel. I just use a dry tea towel. It's just to stop the movement of air drying it out too quickly. And then we'll take the tea towel off and put it in the fridge for the fridge proofing. That's optional. You could cook it after this next final proofing. So it's 10:30 in the morning now. We did leave it at least 10 hours. You could, we did 1 hour between each of the stretch and folds. You could reduce that to half an hour. You could start the initial feeding of the dough and making the dough earlier on in the day. So you could get to this stage much earlier in the day, on day 2, and be doing this before you have work or school or whatever. But I'll put this aside with a tea towel on for the next hour or 2. And we'll come back.